Rangers Baseball Tonight presents tonight's ESPN Insider look at the Rangers and Major League Baseball. Here's Brian Dolgan.
Today's Insider segment is brought to you by Dallas County Community College District, and we're joined by Barry Larkin. Barry, first, let's talk about the Rangers and the season that Elvis Andrus is having. A little bit more than 100 games, more errors this year than last year, but still so effective in so many ways. What's your analysis of the job that he has done thus far this year?
Well, I think he's done a real nice job, to be quite honest with you, offensively, defensively. Every time we really look and see what's going on with the Rangers, we see pressure at the top of the lineup, and Elvis Andrus is part of that. 30 stolen bases already. Yeah, he's got the 20 errors, but that's part of learning in the big leagues. He's only 22 years old. He's still a young player. He will get better. Those numbers will definitely go down. Early in my career, my errors were up simply because I just made bad decisions on when to throw and when not to throw. I look to see him make better decisions and have fewer errors because he'll be a little more comfortable out there knowing what he can and cannot do. I tell you, you've got a gem in Elvis Andrus, and a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when he came up, I was wondering why in the world were they talking about moving Omar Vizquel, moving Michael Young, and this kid must be something. And in the minor leagues, it wasn't about him knocking the cover off the ball, and he had some errors in the minor leagues. But now I see why. Whoever scouted this guy did a nice job. I see him being an all-star for many, many years.
Great analysis, no question. Let's talk about the Boston Red Sox and Dustin Pedroia. He's got a 25-game hitting streak. I mean, break it down for us. What's made him so good at the plate for the last 25 games?
Earlier this season he was struggling, and I think it was all about his pitch recognition. He was going after balls that he normally doesn't. Now, Dustin Pedroia is very much like, almost like Vladimir Guerrero, just pint size. But he swings the balls over his head. He swings the balls out over the plate, out of the strike zone. He talks about the laser show, and it is just that. I think the most impressive thing during this streak has just been his power. They've had some injuries in that lineup, and he's had to hit at different places in that lineup. But during the streak, he's got 9 home runs during this streak. He's extended his streak with the home run the other night. So. I think the most impressive thing is the fact that he's a smaller guy, but he's hitting for power. Emilio Bonifacio's got a 26-game streak down in Florida, and you don't see those power numbers. And a lot of times you don't see those. You see the guys that do have the high number of hit in a hit streak with not a lot of power, but Pedroia is the exception to that rule.
Barry, the trade deadline's coming up on Sunday, 3 o'clock Central Time. We keep hearing the names Heath Bell, Hunter Pence, Mike Adams, Ubaldo Jimenez, the Oakland relievers, and so much more. In this day and age, how much do you think it affects these guys when they can pick up a newspaper or look on SportsCenter and see their names on a daily basis, or on Baseball Tonight for that matter? How much do you think that affects a player in this day and age, seeing their name out there so often like it has been over the last month or so?
I don't really think it affects them much. I think anyone and everyone, because there's so much access to the internet and the media, I think instantly, I think guys are just kind of immune to that. I think back in the day when I was playing, and this wasn't such a big part of every day in baseball, I think it was a bigger deal back then. But I think these guys are very used to that. And I really don't think it affects them in a negative way at all, unless you're in a situation where you don't want to be traded. And but this is an exciting time for everyone. It tells you if you're on a team that's not playing very well, that other people want you and other people need you. So it may be a little boost of adrenaline for you. It may give you a little more something incentive to go out there and play, although your team is not doing very well right now. And, I don't really think that it has a negative effect at all, once again, unless there's a situation where you've given your team maybe a hometown discount like Ubaldo Jimenez, and you're like, listen, I really don't want to be traded, but if you have to trade me, then you have to do what you have to do. But I don't think these guys are too terribly affected by it at all.
Great stuff, Barry. We appreciate the time.
Okay, no problem.
All right, we'll look for you on Baseball Tonight. That's Barry